Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the show. Oh boy, what a week we've had. Gotta say, interesting week. We of course had two different holidays. We had a holiday in Canada with Canada Day, pretty good day. Um, we had a nice Friday because the U.S. was closed because they had, of course, their holiday weekend. So definitely an interesting thing. Now, I was, of course, thinking a little bit about the holiday, and I know we don't normally do a monologue on the Sunday show, but I kind of wanted to hit on something, and it's kind of gonna feel like a monologue. Um, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Oh boy, let's talk a little bit about movies, shall we? Now, summer music, summer. I was gonna say summer muse, summer movies. They used to be a really big thing. In fact, some of the biggest movies in the history of Hollywood would get released in the summer. So it wasn't even just about making big movies. I mean, it's more about driving the business behind the movies. A lot of money has been made in the past with the summer blockbuster. It kind of started back with Star Wars and Jaws and some of those that sort of created that tradition of, spending the big bucks to come out with these huge, eye spectacular movies in the summer and rake in all of the money. And it's kind of a thing. It is kind of a thing. Now, do we still have that environment? And that's something I've been thinking. So there's several big movies that are going to hit the theater this summer. We've already seen one giant flop already. Um, but could the summer blockbuster be making a comeback? The next big one on the list, the Spider-Man, uh, that one, I think that one's probably going to do really, really well. So, are do the summer blockbusters even still exist? That's kind of one of the things I wanted to look at. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about today. I want to, like, before we're done here today, I want to know your favorite movie. I want to know, it'd be cool. Maybe we can do this after the monologue. Maybe we can create together a list, like the community's top 10 movie list. I don't know. It might be a dumb idea. If it's a dumb idea, just tell me it's a dumb idea. We won't do it. But it is something that I thought was really interesting. But let's go back to blockbusters, though. How did this all start? I mean, what is this all about? So before the 1970s, studios pretty much released movies all throughout the year. They still do, but with not really any big emphasis on the summer. And it really, and I mentioned Star Wars, but Jaws, I think, was the first of the summer blockbusters. I mean, technically, Star Wars was released in May. 1975, the release of Jaws. That was a movie that caught everyone's attention, made everybody afraid to go swimming, that's for sure. And it could very well be the first true summer blockbuster that we've ever had. It was a massive, I I was going to say nationwide, but more than nationwide, right? It hit the world, and it had pretty heavy TV advertising, a lot of word of mouth. Um, it kind of created an event more than just a movie. And then after that, and I mentioned Star Wars. Star Wars came out in 1977, so 2 years later. And even though it was May, it's still, it was popular all the way through that summer. It proved, I mean, heck, Star Wars kind of proved that a franchise. So, you know what I mean by franchise? Sequels. How they could generate revenue for decades. I mean, Star Wars is still making money. Um, I think Jaws has finally stopped. I think, I don't know how many sequels we've had to Jaws. I mean, I know Jaws 2. I actually liked Jaws 2. A lot of people was like, nope, nope, stick to the original. I like Jaws 2. Once we get to Jaws 3 and beyond, at that point, it lost me after Jaws 2. But another big interesting thing, that ties in with the movie blockbuster is merchandise. George Lucas, one of the biggest and best things he did is he maintained all the exclusive rights for Star Wars merchandise. And that made him, well, it made him richer than the movie did. So it's kind of an interesting thing. It's all sort of tied together. But the overall end result of this change in the way Hollywood works is that summer basically became Hollywood's biggest revenue season. The studios, they saved their biggest budgets for those summer movies because, May through August, that's when we make the money. And one blockbuster could absolutely make or break an entire year's worth of earnings for a studio. So a lot was riding on the summer blockbuster, and the business model itself. I mean, it's not just ticket sales. Like I said, that's just a small part. I mean, of course, we have the box office revenue. There's merchandise, there's toys, there's video games, streaming rights, international distribution, theme parks. There's been Star Wars theme parks. Like Disney still has a bunch of those, and of course, the sequels and the spin-offs. That all sort of works in, and it's been a model that's been going for a while. Holy banana bread! It's been a while. It's a model that's been going for a while until recently. We had this little thing that came along called the pandemic. COVID kind of disrupted the entire model. So, of course, theaters closed. Studios delayed releases. Streaming, this is a big one. Streaming exploded. In fact, some movies actually got released on streaming instead of the theater during COVID. Consumers became a lot more comfortable watching new movies at home. That, it's like the experience. That's part of what they were selling you was the experience. That kind of fell to the side. It kind of disappeared a little bit. And even after the reopening, so, and I remember when we were in lockdown, people were saying, oh, don't worry, everything will go exactly back to normal. Well, not really. Theater attendance, it has remained below pre-pandemic levels. So we've never gotten back the crowds at the theater that we had before the pandemic. It just hasn't happened. Now, some of it's the economy. Of course, the economy has certainly taken a kick. So you can definitely say families became more price sensitive. Absolutely. Then we had, and just to sort of, oh my gosh, why is my friggin' nose itchy? That's not part of the monologue. We also had a writers and an actor strike that sort of followed right after the pandemic, and that delayed a lot of production. It kind of didn't allow, if there was going to be a bounce after the pandemic, well, that kind of stopped it right there. And studios at that point, they became much more cautious after several expensive, there's a few expensive box office disappointments, and things, like I said, things have just not returned to normal. We've seen quite a few, we've seen a good share of flops for sure since that's happened. There have been some movies that have been successful, but we've had to sort of lower the bar. And, well, let's talk a little bit about recovery. So I've laid out this, I guess, this synopsis for the weakness that, the cinema has been in. And we've seen this through, of course, when you're investing in things like Cineplex. What are we starting to see now? Are we seeing some recovery? I will say one thing. I've seen some signs that do point towards recovery. There's been a much fuller release calendar coming out of Hollywood. So they're making more stuff. Okay, that's good. There's been a lot more variety. So, kind of a pivot away from the superhero films. I love the superhero films, but, even I can say, there's too many. Let's instead of watering down the quality, let's have good superhero films. Maybe not all the mediocre ones. Several movies, though, have absolutely exploded. There's been some movies that unexpectedly absolutely blew box office expectations. If you guys remember the summer, not that long ago, we had Barbie and Oppenheimer. The two of them absolutely outperformed. They turned into an event. That's kind of a neat thing. And this year we have, we have a new Spider-Man film that's expected to do. Uh, I think they're anticipating 258 million in the first weekend. That's fantastic. So it'll be good to see. It looks like, from what I've seen on this, it looks like they're bringing quality. That's what we need. That's what if Marvel wants to succeed, they need to have quality. They gotta, a quantity over quality does not work. It never will. Um, I will say this: audiences, they're still willing to go to the theater. So the theater's not off the table, but it's got to be the right movie. It has to be that movie that feels like an event if you're going to dish out the amount of money that movies cost nowadays in this economy. So Hollywood, I think they're learning, and that's a good thing. And sometimes Hollywood is slow to learn, but people simply haven't stopped loving movies. They've just stopped going to the theater for movies that they can stream in a few weeks anyway. So you need something special to drag people's butts to the theater for sure. And the biggest challenge today, I don't think it's making great movies. I think it is convincing consumers that it is something worth going to see for sure. So those summer blockbusters, they certainly built Hollywood's business big time for sure. At least modern Hollywood. The pandemic, it simply exposed how dependent they were on those movies, on that model. And this summer alone, I don't think it's going to solve the issues. I think we'll still see at least one more flop before the year's out. But we got a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff in the pipe. And I'm pretty excited for the most part about this year. Hollywood, I think they've always been on the cynical side, and perhaps we're finally entering, let's just say, the next chapter of the blockbuster era. And Hollywood, keep it up. Keep bringing us good stuff. Don't bring us crap. Bring us good stuff. All right. Holy banana bread. There we go. A weekend monologue for you. All right. Now, let me get rid of the monologue thing. Let me get it out of there. All right. Boom, bang. Monologue is now gone. I gotta click on the comments. Let's come over and say hi. All right, Scott says, good afternoon. It's quiet in here today. Everyone must be at the Stampede. Yeah, the summer's here. And Stampede, Stampede was always so much fun. I love the Stampede. Love the Stampede. I've been to it multiple times, of course. If you've never been to the Calgary Stampede, guys, put it on your bucket list. It's a lot of fun. The night show. So they have a show, the grandstand, and it's really, really good. I did see that once too. And there was a lot of, I think they had Cirque du Soleil the year I saw it, and it was really good. Let's see. Lisa says, hi everyone. How is the weather where you are? We finally got some rain here in the banana belt of Canada, but it's cooled off. It has cooled off a little bit here. Like it's my office right now, it's warm, but it's not as warm as it was. So I don't know, guys, I actually don't know what the temperature is outside. Let's look. Why not? It's a Sunday show, guys. We're gonna, there's that Brave browser again. All right, Brave, you're going to take a backseat to the Weather Network. And let's just take a look here. Okay, it's 28, but there's no humidity. So 28 and it feels like 28. Okay. All right, so yeah, I guess it's not humid. Let's see. Yep says, good afternoon, Goat Squad. And Jonathan says, it's never too late for a monologue. Exactly. Gotta love the monologues. It takes me back to school, right? When I do a monologue, it's like, it makes me think about those times when you're like, why do I have to read this in front of the class? Why do I have to write this? And, the teacher's like, you never know. Someday you're going to need it. Yeah, here we are. Brian says, good afternoon, everyone. And Rory says, well, hello, everyone. And Mary's in the house with a hello, all. And guys, Mary's our official captain of the like button. If you've not yet hit that like button, be a dear and hit that now for me. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to hold you guys accountable today. I figure this is the first real part of summer. I'm not expecting a lot of people here today. We got the Calgary Stampede. There's also people probably crying because of the big World Cup loss. But then again, you never know. I look when I do my Christmas Day stream. I'm amazed every year that I get half decent traffic on it. I'm just like, what, what, why? Prairie says, good afternoon, community. Happy Sunday. Hey, Prairie, how are you? Brian, a lot of people I know and myself just don't bother with going to the movies anymore. I haven't been since the early 2000s. Some people just can't shut up, and I need cover calls now, so I don't go. All right, fair enough. Rory says, I don't know how Cineplex can survive. I think they have to adapt. I think they have to start doing more stuff. And I've talked about this before. Like when you go to the theaters, like if you go to, for example, the VIP experience, you can get a nice meal. You have nice, comfortable, lazy boy-like seats. It's a little more, but you know what? It's a nicer experience. It feels, after you've spent your money, you don't feel as bad about it. And that, to me, I don't know, that's kind of a nicer way to do it. And I think some big spectacle type movies. Let's go big screen. I think they would, for IMAX. Like, I think IMAX could be a really big thing for some of those movies as well. Scott says, the first blockbuster that I remember wasn't a summer movie, but spawned sequels, toys, and trading cards. It was Planet of the Apes from 1968. Oh, wow. So, yeah. You dirty damn apes. Planet of the Apes. That was a big franchise. There was also a TV show as well. But now, let me ask you this, Scott. Have you watched any of the, I want to call them modern remakes, but now the remakes have gotten a little bit old. The ones with Wahlberg in it. I've seen a couple of them. I thought they were okay. Let's see. Streaming and home theater systems are the final nail. Yeah. You could have really good. Like, I know people who've actually set up their own little theater in their basements. And some of those theaters, it's clean. Yeah, you don't have anybody else talking while you're trying to watch the movie. So I can see the appeal. Prairie says there are select blockbusters that our household love and need to see on the big screen, but agree that because of the cost, we don't go too many. Okay, so let me ask you this question. All right, let me throw this out, guys. Is there a movie coming out within the next year that you plan to see on the big screen? Let's just ask that. I know there's a couple of big ones. Like I know if you're a Marvel fan, we've got Spider-Man, and then later in the year we've got Avengers Doomsday. So those are a couple that might appeal to some of you. But is there a movie that you're just dying, you're biting at the bit to see? Samantha says, good afternoon, squad. Rory, 2001: A Space Odyssey was a good one. Oh yeah. And I haven't seen it, but I know it's a good movie. I probably know many lines from it because it's so prevalent in pop culture geek edition. A says, hi, Candace. Prairie, Hollywood writers have lost the art of creative writing. Far too many milking the words of the classics with reboots. Yeah, there's that. And I also think, and this is the thing, the world changes, yes. And I think you have to navigate it a little more careful when it comes to how how you're going to reflect it in movies. Sometimes I feel, and I could be wrong on this. Sometimes I feel Hollywood's gone too far. I don't want to say, I don't want to use the words like wokeness and things like that, but sometimes I feel it's just like, I'm not going to the movie theaters to be lectured on ideologies. I'm not going to the movie theaters to be told how I can be behaved. I'm going to the movie theater for one reason. I want a damn good story. That's what I want. That's it. That's it. Now, if you want to put big morals into it, if it works from the story, yeah, I'm okay with that. Um, if you, I like, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care what color the actors are or anything like that. Once again, I want a good story. And I honestly, I don't care. I don't care about anything else. As long as I get a good story, heck, if you've got if you've got dogs using sign language, but it's a really good story, I'm there for it. I am there for it. So I don't care. Just give me a good story. That's the way I look at it. Let's see. Raiders of the Lost Ark was a favorite. It's hard to find a great movie these days with great storytelling and an original idea. Yeah, Raiders was an original idea. Now, of course, you know, they've they did a couple of sequels that were good. Then there was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I was okay with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Some people complained, oh, the whole, hiding in a lead refrigerator will not protect you from a nuclear bomb. Well, of course not. But you know what? Go back to Temple of Doom. I can guarantee jumping out of an airplane and using a life raft as a parachute per se wouldn't really work. You got to suspend your disbelief for a certain amount, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But yeah, no, I thought Raiders was pretty darn good. Well, I told you guys the story. I've seen Raiders 10 times in the theater. Since then, I don't know, I'd love to know how many times I've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark in my life. I'd say I probably have seen it 10 more times since then, so probably about 20. Vic says, just got back from Taylor's wedding. Hope she likes my toaster. Nice. You gotta love it. Here you go, a toaster. I didn't think people were still giving toasters, but Vic, it's you. I think it might be you. Scott, they should offer a premium ticket that doesn't have an hour of commercials before the movie. Yeah. Or here's what I'm saying. Like, I want to see the trailers. I want to see the trailers. I don't care about the commercials, but I would like to have on the site to say, okay, trailers start at 7 o'clock. Movie starts at 7:15. Fantastic. Then if you don't want the trailers, you don't want the commercials, you can just show up at 7:15. And for me, I can show up at 7. But I'm anal about being early, so I'll still end up seeing the commercials, and that's fine. I don't care. At least give me, at least one thing I will say, usually the commercials at the theater are usually sometimes they're a little better than the ones you see on TV, but uh, let's see. Paul says, good afternoon. Hey, Paul. And he says, hi, everyone. And Rory, I finally got it and detailed the car yesterday. A year of gravel and rock buildup had to go. Yikes. Yeah. Scott, super proud of Team Canada for getting as far as they did. Yeah, no, they did fantastic. They did absolutely fantastic. I loved it. Ian says sometimes CC stands for closed captioning and not covered calls. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, like actually, so Jill's visually impaired, so we actually watch everything here with audio description on. Now, it's funny when I first started watching stuff with audio description, it annoyed me. It annoyed me to no end. It's like, stop talking. I don't need you to explain everything. But obviously, it was to help out. It was to help Jill. So, but now I'm so used to it. I don't even realize it's on. Like sometimes we'll start to watch something and the audio description just wasn't turned on for some reason. And, usually it's Jill that lets me know. And I'm like, oh, really? Oh, no, because I'm so used to it. The only thing I have against audio description right now is that sometimes if you're watching something that has a jump scare in it, sometimes it will spoil the jump scare, so you don't get that. sometimes. Sometimes it'll get through, but a lot of times it spoils the jump scare. You know, like the music is building, and then the audio description says, and a monster pops out from around the corner. And the music's still building, and then there's the monster. It's like, all right, yeah, okay. I kind of saw that one. I kind of heard that one coming, I guess. Ian says, wasn't a summer blockbuster the first movie I remember seeing in a theater? Was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first one. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that was I think, I don't know how well they did, but I mean, that was pretty good. Scott, I saw the Tim Burton Mark one. It was an interesting take, but the ending confused a lot of people due to the editing. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. That happens. Auntie, there is a news regarding the pipeline from Alberta to BC. Looks like Pembina Pipelines is the company they're going to use. What is your prediction about their stock price? Okay, so yeah, the Pembina is going to. They're not. It's not that they're building it, but they're going to be part of the advisory process of it. They're going to sort of help them along, keep them moving in the right direction. They will end up with a 10% stake in it, and we've already seen a little bit actually here. Let me pull this on. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I want to do this. Let me pull up Pembina. They actually did go up a little bit on Friday. So yeah, up 1.56%. And that's more impressive. This is actually more impressive than you think because, and here, let me show you this. When we look at utilities, or we look at pipelines here, Enbridge didn't really move at all. So they kind of bucked Enbridge's a little bit. So Enbridge was down 0.03. Pembina was up 1.56. Scott says, I just finished watching Project Hail Mary at home. Oh, is it available on streaming yet? I've been waiting for that one to come out on streaming. That's one that I would have loved to have seen in the theater. I just don't get out to the theater as much as I would like to. But amazingly, like before the pandemic, I probably would catch, I don't know, maybe 20 movies a year. 20, maybe even 30 on a good year. But 20 to 30 movies a year. Now, it might be one. It might be one. I haven't, like, I don't think I saw a single movie in the theater last year in 2025. And 2026, I'm still at zero. I'm still at zero right now. Prairie, I watched all of the Planet of the Apes movies, classic and new. Also own all on DVD and or Blu-ray. Love them. All right. Sinners was really good. Not everything is a rehash. Yeah, Sinners was really. I liked Sinners quite a bit. So those of you who haven't watched Sinners, it is a vampire. It's a vampire theme in it, but I think the acting and the story is really, really good. That even if you're not into vampires, I think you might still like it. It is, it's more or less a story about a relationship between a pair of twin brothers. I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you haven't seen it, I would recommend Sinners. I think it was a good movie. Mythbusters did the life raft parachute thing. It was plausible. So they actually pulled it off. Okay. All right. I stand corrected then. I can't argue against the Mythbusters. So good. Roy says, can't wait for the movie Buy the Dip. Buy the Dip. I don't know a lot about that movie, but it sounds like something I might be interested in. So yeah. All right. Let's I think just the title alone, it's got my interest. Let's go to Google. Buy the Dip movie. Let's do it this way. Oops, not Buy the M-Dip. We want Buy the Dip. There we go. Buy the Dip movie. Buy the Dip. Oh, that's a short. Buy the Dip, a cryptocurrency comedy back in 2018. Buy the Dip is like Silicon Valley for cryptocurrency nerds. Okay, oh boy. I'm not sure about it. I don't know, Rory. Unless, you're joking, right? At least there was a short in 2018. I noticed the happy face. I think You took advantage of the fact that I can be very naive, and I fell for that. All right. A says worldwide consumers for movies are on the decline. It has been an event and something exciting to attract people. Costs have gone beyond budget for most people, especially in low income areas slash countries. All right. Lance says, holy banana bread. I made it back from the back country in time. Almost. Nice. Brian says, audio description annoys me. I just need closed captioning because with some loud background music or whispering, I miss a lot of words. Okay, yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Well, there's also another thing, Brian. I've seen this a couple of times when looking for audio description. I think there's like enhanced. I think there's like an enhanced audio or something where it makes the talking part louder. But I've never tried it. But you know, there have been some movies like I've noticed where all of the sound effects are so loud compared to the actual audio, and I'm like, come on, guys, we need to be able to hear what the characters are saying. What do you think about TELUS falling towards $14? Is the company losing money to drips and interest payments? Is free cash flow increasing, or is TELUS misleading shareholders? All right, TELUS. TELUS does need to cut their dividend, in my opinion. So obviously that's something that is certainly impacting their cash flow. They also have lost cash flow as well because of the CRTC ruling, where they basically can't charge a lot of the fees that they used to charge, makes up a huge amount of their cash flow. So, you know, activation fees, cancellation fees, those type of fees. So they've all been removed. So they've lost some cash flow because of that. So is their cash flow increasing? Is it getting better? That's a great question. There's one way the only thing we can really look at, and here, let me show you here. Let's go to Yahoo Finance. All right, and we want to go to TELUS. All right, I guess I better spell it out here. All right, TELUS right here. Perfect. Okay, now we want to go to financials. All right, perfect. And what I'm going to look at here is, I need, let me just take a look. Let's go to cash flow, actually. There we go, cash flow. All right, so let's look at their free cash flow. So this gives you, this way here, you can actually look at it and you can sort of see where it has been. So this is just yearly though. Now this currently is yearly. Let's go to quarterly. Let's go, there we go. All right, so this is looking at it by quarter. So right now, their free cash flow is much higher than it was. Like it was out this, okay, so here, like last quarter, so the quarter that ended on the 31st of March, they had no free cash flow. In fact, they were losing money. They were at 25,000 to the negative. Right now, we're looking at 1,903,000 so far. I don't think this here is complete yet. So this is the current one that we're on right now. But the previous one, like I said, they were in the negative, and you can sort of see how they fell a little bit. They actually went up between, in the middle of last year. But so yeah, this month is looking better. It is looking better. I still think they should cut the dividend. I still think they should, get their ducks. I'll use ducks instead. Get their ducks in a row. Cut the dividend. Yes, you'll probably lose some, you'll probably have a bit of a sell-off when that happens. But I think it would be healthy for them because when we look at them, let's take a look right here. TELUS, right here, boom. All right, so when you look at that dividend right now, the yield has gotten crazy high, 11.502%. Cut it in half. Bare minimum, just cut it in half. I think it would be fine. All right, and Rory is agreeing. TELUS has to cut that dividend. Scott, project is on Prime. Oh, okay, awesome. Oh, there we go. That's now high on my list of things to squeeze in. Elisa says, can anyone recommend a good true crime documentary that's on the newer side? I can't. I don't watch a lot of true crime, but um, I feel like I keep seeing new true crime stuff popping up all the time. One thing you might want to do is, I know on YouTube, if you were to do a search, I think on sort of new shows, true crime, you might be able to get some of the newer stuff that's coming up. Some people will do like sort of like a preview video on what's coming up on the different streaming services. And I don't know if that would work or not, but that might be an idea. Let's see. Astro says James Bond 1964, Carlton Theatre, Toronto, my first large screen movie. Holy cow. Which James Bond was in 1964? Actually, you know what? We got Google. Let's Google it. James Bond movie 1964. I'm trying to think. I don't know which one this would be. Maybe it'll tell us. Oh, Goldfinger. There we go. So apparently Goldfinger. That must have been the one. There we go. Haha. Cool. As Scott says, Everything Everywhere All the Time was really good and original. I didn't see it. I have not seen that yet. Was a bad joke. Oh, no worries. Rory's by the dip is sarcasm. When you have a laughing goat, you have to expect a lot of sarcasm rather than truths. I almost think I need a sarcasm goat. I'm just saying. Rory says, yep. Let's see. I haven't had data since Friday morning. Did I miss anything newsworthy from Trump or in general? I don't think too much actually happened. I think Trump's been mostly quiet. Yeah, like quite literally. Like here, I'm going to pull up. If there's anything even remotely interesting, normally, oops, let's actually go to news. Normally, oh, that's, sorry, there we go. Normally Drudge is all over it. Let's see, strangest show on earth, patriotism and partnership. For some reason, partisanship. There we go. Yeah, look, like not really a lot. Well, the Brooklyn Bridge caught fire. Really? I absolutely missed this. Oh gosh. Did they seriously catch fire to the Brooklyn Bridge with the fireworks? Like really? Okay, it was brief. It was brief. Oh, here's a picture. Oh yeah, there's where the firework hit the Brooklyn Bridge. Oh my gosh. Okay. So there you go. You missed the Brooklyn Bridge getting hit by fireworks. Brian says, I just watch YouTube, so not sure if they have enhanced audio. Oh, okay, probably not. I've seen it on a few of the streaming services yet, but you never know. I mean, Google is always trying to improve YouTube. Isn't By the Dip the sequel to Dumb Money? Do not know. Dialogue enhancer. There we go. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Let's see. Hearing aids will not work for my right ear and will barely work for my left. High-pitched sounds are totally gone from my hearing. Voice range 85% gone in my right and 70% gone in my left. Oh, yikes. Gosh. Yeah, yeah, that's not good. Let me ask this question, Brian. I mean, has this been progressively getting worse? Are you thinking like, a few years from now that it might, you might not be able to hear very much at all? Hopefully that's not the case though. Rory, we will always be called dumb money as retail investors. It's very rude. It is. It really is. Let's see. LOL at dumb money comments. A dialogue enhancer. It's a TV setting under advanced audio settings to newer TVs. All right. Didn't know you were losing hearing, Brian. That sucks. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I cast to my 49-inch Samsung, but use my laptop audio through headphones. Okay. Rory says, Lisa, I just watched Question Period. Oh, boy. I knew Rory had to make a shot at the House of Commons. I knew it had to come. I knew it had to come. All right. Ian says, a change from Rogers to SaskTel for internet last Thursday, Saturday. I received a bill for $250 for not returning the modem yet. I shipped it the day after I canceled. Oh, did you keep the tracking information? I would give them that information as well. But sometimes Rogers can be, Rogers can be very annoying. All right. It's been getting worse for years, Rory. Basically, for 25 plus years, most people knew I was deaf. I didn't hear anything behind me. All right. Rory says, don't walk on the train tracks then. Yeah, but wouldn't you feel that? Like, because I think there's a bit of a vibration. I mean, I guess unless you're not, if you're not good at sensing vibrations. But nonetheless, yeah, you shouldn't walk on train tracks anyway. That's never good. Trump claims he will get Congress to change birthright citizenship. Supreme Court denied him, of course. They can't do that. It requires two-thirds passing in the House and Congress, then 38 of 50 states. Yeah, good luck with that. I think that's one that's going to just die. Rory, rail cars in the yard are very quiet when shunted. I know what shunting is. So yeah, there we go. I'm impressed with myself for knowing what shunting is. So that's not too shabby. Sergey, it says, good afternoon from Calgary. Did you guys discuss MSTE yet? No, not really. What do you want to know about MSTE, Sergey? I will point out, let's go to Bitcoin for a second. So as I mentioned, I was telling you guys that I thought Bitcoin was going to come back up, and then we would be looking at perhaps a drop at this point. So it did go back up, and now it dropped a little, and now it's just kind of moving sideways. We're getting a little bit of slop up here, but maybe if we get lucky. Now, this sometimes slop like this can be good if you're looking for a breakout, because then maybe we could get another move up, but most likely is it would move back up and bounce back down. So I'm not seeing, there's not a lot of momentum. There's not a lot of strength out there for Bitcoin right now. So I feel like, and here, I'm going to back out of this a little bit. There we go. I feel like we're going to be in this for a while. Like you can see right now, we entered this channel all the way back here in, right there around the beginning of June. So we've already spent a month in this channel, other than we had this one little thing up here, but, it returned us back to the channel. So we've already had a month. If we're still in this channel at the end of July, I wouldn't be surprised. I will just say this. So what does this mean for MSTE? Well, it means that you're not going to get a full recovery anytime soon. It means that you're going to get an oscillation in price. I think towards the bottom of this channel, it's sitting at what? $1.70 or somewhere's in that vicinity. So it's probably, I would say, we're probably going to see it ranging between, let's go with $1.60 to about maybe $2.10. Where are we at right now? Now, here's the interesting thing with MSTE. Right now, we're at 204. So we're at $2.04. So one of the interesting things is that even though it moved up, I was actually a little surprised. It moved up 2.51% on Friday. I was surprised because strategy wasn't moving. So that's rough. But I'm sorry, when I was saying that, I was looking at Sergey's next comment. We'll get there in just a second. All right, quickly first, Brian, I've picked up on my own a little lip reading. My last hearing test, the tech had no idea how deaf I was until test time. I turned my chair so I could not see him pressing the buttons. Oh, okay, fair enough. All right, and then Sergey saying, I am at 11,000 MSTE shares with a 4.7 average, down 33K. Yeah, okay, So that's not the worst I've seen. There's a lot of people who got into MSTE at higher. So when you look here, actually here, let's head over to here for a second. Oh boy, here we go. MSTE. I'm going to pull up. We'll go with just the 3 years so you can see. So there's a lot of people who are in the above $10, like have an adjusted cost base above $10. So you're not in that bad of a situation right now, Sergey. Now, the good news is you are receiving distributions, so that's fantastic. You're at least getting that for now. It certainly doesn't feel good though to be in the red. So I think in this situation, I wouldn't sell personally. You have to make up your own mind how you're going to handle this, but I'm going to look at it this way, that to get back where you are, it wouldn't take much. It would take a good Bitcoin pump. Now, that's the good news. The bad news is I don't think we're getting that pump soon. So you're going to need to be patient. Now, obviously getting dividends helps, or distributions. What we really need for you in this case here is, if we stay in this channel, there's a good chance that we could keep the 10 cent, like right now, because that dividend keeps getting cut. If we stay in this channel, we might be able to maintain that 10 cents for a lot longer. And that would be good, because obviously the bigger the dividend, the better it is for you. At least you're, getting some money at that point. So will we get to 470 again? So will you get green? I think you will. I just think you got to be patient. I think it's going to take a little bit of time to get there. And I wouldn't give in to fear at this point. Like if you were sitting up here at, like, say, if you bought it, let's say you bought it at the high, what was the high? Like $18. Then I would be like, oh boy, that would be a lot worse, because I don't think we'll see $18 again anytime soon. Like at least not in 2026, and maybe not in 2027. But depends on what Bitcoin does. Like if Bitcoin were to recover, and right now there's no sign of that, but if Bitcoin could recover, it would be good for MSTE. They will lose some of the upside, of course, but it would still be pretty darn good for them. But keep in mind right now, I think Bitcoin, I feel like this is kind of a crypto winter. So I don't see us going back above 100K for any time, probably not this year. Maybe 2027, but right now, and we'll keep analyzing it and reevaluating it as we go. Brian says, I did not want to guess if I hear anything. He said, you are doing well with lip reading. Tuning fork was unheard from behind until it was almost beside my ear. Oh, okay. Scott says, strategy wasn't moving. Bitcoin was going up, which is why I thought that was what was affecting it. Maybe. Well, what happens though is, right, maybe you also got to realize, so strategy is the underlying asset, but another factor is the buying and selling pressure. So if a lot of people were buying because it was really low, that in itself could push the price up a little bit. So that might have been part of what it is, because down around 170, I think a lot of people were like, I'm getting some. Let's see. Brian says, MSTE, I got in a little at 14 when it was cheap, bought my 2,000 now, and you're at a $2.92 average. Okay, not too shabby. Bismarcky, are the American markets open tomorrow? Seeing as yesterday was a holiday. They should be, yeah. They took Friday off. So they took Friday off. Yeah, Brian says Friday the US was closed. Scott, Swedish-made Bitcoin pumps aren't my bag, baby. Bitcoin pumps. Okay. I think a joke just went over my head, Scott. I think so. At least I felt air move. I think I might have. Sergey, I bought at 11, DCA down to 4.7. Not sure if I should put any new capital into it. Okay, fair enough. Wow, you've really DCA'd down quite a bit. You have to do. This is what I would say. Make your own evaluation. Maybe 4.7, maybe that's like, you know what? You might say that's as much as I'm getting into this. I'm waiting for it to get green. I'm getting out, and this is just too volatile for my blood, and that's perfectly fine. You could certainly DCA more down if you really wanted to, but what I would say is, if you're going to DCA further down at this point, I would wait. I would wait for when, you know, for example, looking at this. When Bitcoin comes back down, that's where I would be DCAing. So basically, when it's a dollar, $1.70 or so, that might be a better place to do it. But you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it at all. You could sit at 4.7. I think you'll be fine on the long term. At least you've got income coming in right now. I think you'll be back in the green. Like, actually, if you were to add up all of your income and put that into your calculation, your total return might it might be a little bit better. You may be closer to to being in the green than you think. I'm not saying that you're in the green. You're probably not, but you might still be a little closer. All right, let's see here. Rory says Bitcoin dropping while the market roars upward. Choose wisely. Yeah, you always have to take things into consideration, and that's the thing with MSTE. You really have to look at what you're doing. You have to look at what it does. You have to look at all the levels of complexity in it. So you have to look at Bitcoin. You've got to look at strategy, and you got to look at the strategy on top of the strategy, which in other words is the strategy of the leverage and covered calls that are used on top of the whole thing. So you have to take it all into consideration. And if looking at all of that complexity, if you're looking at it and you're like, gosh, no, that's not for me, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, Scott says, oh, I ran across a term the other day, reverse dollar cost averaging, when selling stocks reduces principal and erodes total return. Reverse dollar cost averaging. Okay. So yeah, I guess. Yeah, so basically what you're doing in a situation like that is, I think, now correct me if I'm wrong, I don't normally use reverse dollar cost averaging, but I think that is when you are actually selling it. I think you're selling it at a loss, actually. And then, yeah, it does kind of hurt. It does hurt your total returns. I mean, it kind of does erode everything. I wouldn't use it myself. Like, dollar cost averaging, fantastic that you're buying. Reverse dollar cost, well, you're selling. I prefer. I have two ways I like to do it. So first of all, sure, I like to build up with dollar cost averaging, and then if I do want to sell, I like to sell in a profit, and I will usually do. Yeah, I call it dollar cost selling. That's what I call it, because you're selling. You're selling off a little bit at a profit, so you're actually making profit on that as well. If I'm in a situation where it has, let's say that it's just a bad ETF. It looks like we got NAV erosion happening. We got bad rock. Honestly, if it's that bad, I'm probably not. I'm probably not reverse DCAing. I'm probably just biting the bullet, taking the loss, moving it into something that's going to make me my money back. That's probably what I'm going to do. Let's see here. RDCA sounds like an 80s rock band. Scott says, not necessarily selling at a loss, selling your principal for income. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'm wondering if this, because I haven't run into this term in this sense. I have heard of reverse mortgages. So like a reverse mortgage, what it is you basically turn your mortgage into income. So it's basically the company that provides the reverse mortgage. They basically pay you a mortgage. So think of it as them buying your house from you, and they're paying you a mortgage. You still live in your house and everything else, but someday it all gets settled up, and eventually they end up with your house. But it's a way that you could create income for yourself A lot of these reverse mortgage things, they're geared towards seniors. I'm not 100%, I don't know, I'm not 100% on them, on board with them. Um, you know, I mean, what happens after the capital of that house is gone? So, if you end up living a lot longer than the typical, I would rather, like, if you want to get rid of your house, um, you want to live a bit cheaper, and you'd like to have a little bit of income at the same time, I would be more inclined to sell the house, move into an apartment, and invest the rest, and then create your income that way. That's how I would do it. I would do it that way, opposed to one of those reverse mortgage. Some people call them scams. I don't know if I'll go completely that far. I'm just saying I don't think they're that fair. I know that I think what's his name? Tom Selleck. I think Tom Selleck has been promoting them in the U.S. I think he's been sponsoring them, and yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would use. I don't think I would go with one personally. Sergey says tomorrow is dividend day for a bunch of my ETFs. I always have trouble deciding where to reinvest. I used to pick the biggest loser, which is mostly MSTE. Okay, fair enough. Um, I'll say this, instead of the biggest loser, maybe look for the one that has the most opportunity. That's one way. Like, if MSTE feels like you're throwing money into a bunch of falling knives, and I don't think MSTE is falling knives, but it can feel that way for sure. Um, yeah, I would just take a look and say, okay, is there anything else that is doing well, but is maybe in a little bit of a pullback? That's where I might go, for example, with that money. And that's usually what I do, to be honest. Bismarcky, MST has been bad for me, not Gary Gill bad, but I keep putting a little more every week, brings my average cost down. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm doing in the 0 to 100K challenge. Every time it hits new lows, I'm adding more to the challenge. And it's not like I don't plan to have a big position in the challenge. It's never going to go above 5%. And heck, I probably won't even get that far. But, I'm going to do that just, because then when it does turn around, it'll be nice. It'll be nice having it when it turns around. But patience is the is the name of that game, 100%. Lance just finished applying hydrocortisone 1% to my bug bites from the past weekend. I came back with more bites than Gary Gill has shares of MSTE. Oh gosh. Yikes. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. Lance, I bet you feel Gary's pain as well. And Roy says, follows my favorite time of year, Lance. No skeeters or ticks. I think ticks, though. Now, I don't know if this is more. My understanding is that ticks are still out there in the fall. Like, you got to still be careful of them. They're not as active, but they are still there. So, like I will still put, for the cats that go outside, I will still put, I'll still put the tick stuff on them pretty much until we get a deep freeze. So the freezing months, so usually December, I'd say from December to March, they don't wear the tick stuff, but the rest of the year, yeah. And that stuff is expensive. Like I use Advantage 2, and quite literally just to get 6 treatments, so there's 3 of them. So that's 2 months. That's $100, usually a little more. So I'm just like, oh my God, that's expensive. If you have animals, everything they sell you, they know they got you. They got you, and they're going to overcharge everything. And Brian says, I agree with you, Candace. Sell and invest. It might be what I do further down the road. Yeah, exactly. Fall is the best time to go, but every once in a while, I like to put myself through hell, it seems. Prairie, a reverse mortgage is as close to a scam as one can get. They charge interest on the principal paid out to your equity. When the individual passes on, they cash in on the value of the home. Yeah. They end up getting your home. So, they make it sound really, really good. And that's the thing. Legally, they're not a scam. But boy, they have that feel. They feel like a scam. That's for sure. I would never, ever, and quite literally, if somebody came to me, approached me and said, "Hey, Candace, um, can you do a sponsored video on reverse mortgages? And we'll give you $5,000." One, yeah, that'd be fantastic, but I'd still turn them down. I'd be like, nope, not unless I can do a video on reverse mortgages where I debunk them. that I'd do that for 5,000. But yeah, no, I would never. I could never. I could never do one. I could never do one. I could never. In um, every moral aspect of my being would not let me promote a reverse mortgage. Scott says, for example, you might think taking a loan for $1,000 at 5% and buying a stock that pays 10%, then using that dividend and stock selling to pay back the loan. That's always something. There's a lot of things that you can do. Absolutely. Saskatchewan and Alberta had numerous tornado warnings yesterday. Storms were marching across the prairies. Scary evening last night. Well, I'm glad you're okay. Let's see, home. And yeah, reverse mortgages do sound like a scam, kind of like mutual funds. Yeah, exactly. Oh, so good. Rory, I watched Dave Ramsey about timeshares. Oh, he gets infuriated. Yeah, Dave Ramsey, if you get him with the right topic, he can be amusing when he gets angry. Scott, I hear about reverse mortgages in the U.S., but here I hear about HELOC. I haven't really looked at HELOC. Let's Google it, because honestly, I don't know a lot about HELOC. All right. HELOC. All right. Let's just put HELOC. What is it? Oh, and is it a scam? That's what I like to do. Okay. Okay. Oh, a home equity line of credit. Okay. Yes, I've heard of that. So yes, it's a revolving line of credit secured by your home, allowing you to borrow against your equity. It's not a scam in itself. It is a common financial product used by major banks. However, predatory lenders and identity thefts do use HELOC to scam homeowners. So you got to be careful with it. One of the things I don't like about a lot of these companies. So sometimes if you want to use your home as, I guess, as, kind of like collateral against a big loan, stick to a big bank. Do it through one of the big banks. You're not going to get into a situation. Some of the smaller companies out there, they'll charge you interest rates. They'll charge you higher interest rates than you should be paying. Definitely not something I would recommend. All right, Scott says, no, what I'm saying, my example doesn't work and results in reverse dollar cost averaging. Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. I noticed the other day that you are up to 38 stocks ETFs in the 0 to 100K challenge. Are you trying to catch up to my 66 that everyone says is crazy? I had a funny thought, Brian. I did the countdown, the last one, and I really enjoyed it. And so I kind of want to get to 40 stocks, stocks/ETFs, and stay at 40, and make sort of have a rule that if I add a new one at 40, I gotta sell one. Only because then I can have a top 40 countdown every month. And that's, like I said, that is the geek in me. The music geek. I love. I always. As a kid, I would not miss the top 40. Like I love the charts. I love watching the songs moving up and down, and this kind of tickles that little bit of excitement in me that way. It might be dumb, but I'm gonna, we'll see how it goes. Timeshare sales teams are like predatory ambushers. Even better if you get back cash. If you get cash back rewards, I like cash back. That's for sure. Route 66. The mortgage holder is who you usually get your HELOC from. Usually at 3% above prime rates. Not bad, really. Okay. Sergi says, haha, I have 64 ETF stocks. Good to know I am not crazy. I get my kicks on Route 66. There we go. There we go. Fun. Fun, fun, fun. All right. um, so one of the interesting things here on Friday is we did get some movement up right here in the price of gold, or sorry, gold, in the price of oil, Brent and WTI. So we will have these guys actually open at 6 o'clock. So we got another 55 minutes before they open. But interestingly enough, why is it telling me that Brent is open? All right, no, it's not. All right, what is it? All right, I'm going to refresh this. I don't, something is just off. Something's off. One of my things says that it's open, and I don't think it is. All right, now let's take a look and see where we are here. All right, oil, oil, oil. There's gold, there's oil. Oh, okay, yeah, it still has a, interesting. All right, yeah, pre-market. And this one here says market's open currently on Brent. All right, well, if it's open, I'm not seeing any data, that's for sure. But it will be open. All right. Rory, 64.66. Lance has you all beat in bug bites. Oh. Fun, fun, fun until Daddy takes the T-bird away. Yep. Let's see here. I have some stocks that I only have 10 or 20 shares, and I just don't sell them until, even though I might not buy them again, up 30%, paying dividends, just leave it. Okay, fair enough. Rory, yeah, I have one ETF, CYH, that has 16 shares. Then I saw XEQT. XEQT is awesome. That's for sure. CYH, what is that? I don't know what that is. Oops, let me a second here. Oh, right over here, Harvest. What is it? CYH. Oh, okay, all right. Okay, it's an iShares one. Let's see, iShares Global Monthly Dividend Index ETF, Canadian hedged. All right, cool. All right. All right, a little bit of a 3.287. So this is almost feeling a little bit like an all equity in a way. I don't know if they have emerging markets in it though. Let's see if the description tells us. Let's see. Let's see. The Dow Jones Global Select Dividend Composite Index, Canadian dollar hedged. Okay. So I'm not sure if we have. I don't think we have emerging markets in this here. Let me see. I don't see. Otherwise, they would boast it right up front if they did. So, all right, interesting. So, yeah, how have they done? I imagine they should be okay. We'll pull up the 1 year. We'll take a look. Yeah, look at this. That's not bad. Not bad. But yeah, XEQT might be better. I know what CYA is. CYA. Is that the same as CYB? Cover your butt. Yeah, absolutely. What can I say? LOL, Scott, almost a covered call. Maybe. Oh, and anybody who is not here during the market closes, we do have a new goat. So, I have a new rule. So on shows where, like this one, where we don't have to worry about the Financial Express because we already got a Monday show. If you want to see any particular goat, just ask for it. Just ask for it in your super. So if you do a super and say, like you go, Candace, you're awesome. Can I see Space Goat? Then I'll do Space Goat for you. Whatever ones you guys want. Just we have an order on the other show, but this is a weekend. We can do whatever we want. In fact, we can do whatever we want. Nobody's gonna stop me. So let's do it. I'm gonna do it because I want to see my Indiana Jones goat here. Oh yeah, that was a good one. I love that goat. So anyway, just want to put that out there. Rory says, let's all go back to the rotary phone to buy stocks from the newspaper. Oh, can you imagine? Yeah, I mean, like there was like pages in the newspaper. And quite literally, if you think about it, the newspaper would get that price the day before, or maybe even the day before. So how delayed was that? At that point, though, keep in mind, you weren't investing to make, yeah, you were investing to make money, but you weren't investing for short term. People were investing long term. That's just the way it is. So it's like, okay, well, if I pay $10.12 today, it's not much different if I pay $10.15 by the time, the transaction goes through. When, down the road, that $10.15 might be worth $30, 10 years later type thing. Claudia says, hi, everyone. I am sorry, but I have to say this. Go Argentina, go. All right. Go Argentina. Where are they going? No, I assume that this is World Cup. All right. Yeah, Argentina did not beat Canada, so I'm okay with that. You should charge for new goat requests. I should charge. Well, I do need to make money, but no, if somebody wants, now I will say this. All right, I will say this. If you have a specific goat that you want designed, like a specific goat. So for example, Scott, if you absolutely needed a I don't know, a Planet of the Apes goat. Sure. Yeah, pay me and I'll do it. Yeah, no, I mean, I'll just say this. If you make the request and it sounds cool, I'll probably do it. I'm not getting for free. But if you absolutely want me to make a goat, throw a super at me and say, please make this goat. And then I'll do it. I'll probably do it. Leonard says, hi, everyone. Looked into 3 growth stocks, HDIV, Cage, and VFV to invest 5K. I'm leaning more towards HDIV for long-term growth investing, but Cage looks good to me too, kind of in a dilemma. Okay, fair enough, Leonard. Okay, so first of all, you've got 3, so yeah, you're looking at growth. Now, HDIV is not a growth per se. HDIV it's an income. Well, it's actually, I consider HDIV to be a growth income, meaning that you're getting the best of both worlds. So with HDIV, you're going to get some growth. You are going to get some income, which is fantastic. So looking at it total return-wise, HDIV is absolutely keeping up with the others. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. VFE, that's your Vanguard one. It's going to be tried and true. It's very steady. It quite literally whatever the S&P 500 does, VFE is going to do it as well. So, if you have a lot of faith in the US market, VFE is the way to go. So HDIV, by the way, will give you Canadian and a little bit of US in there as well, but it's mostly Canadian. Cage. So Cage is all equity. So you are getting exposure to Canada. You're getting exposure to the US. You're getting exposure to Australia, to Asia, to Europe, and you're getting exposure to emerging markets in there. So Cage, it's an all equity. Now, it is new. It's the newest kid on the block out of that group. So they don't have a lot of time in the market, but all of the other current ones that do the same formula that what Cage is doing, so things like XEQT, VEQT, FEQT, ZEQT, just to name a few, they have that history and they've all done fine. They've done fine over the long term. So it boils down to, now the big difference between these, obviously, is that with Cage and with VFV, you're not going to get a lot of dividends. So your dividends are going to be on the small side. You'll get some, but you won't get a lot. With HDIV, you are part of that, part of your return is coming to you as a dividend every month, or a distribution. So you would then, you could reinvest it back into HDIV, or you could invest it into something else. So it would be kind of the way. So that's how I would look at it, depending on what I'm looking at. So right now, yes, HDIV, total return-wise, HDIV, HDIV has definitely beat VFV, and it's probably beat Cage. But does it mean that that's always going to be the case? Maybe not. It's hard to say. HDIV, They are a fund to funds. So some of the funds that they hold use covered calls. Some of them, actually, two of the ones that they hold don't. And those are, that kind of gives them a little bit of extra growth in there. So I like them quite a bit. All right, Scott, do you remember in the Addams Family TV show where Gomez had his own stock ticker? Who knows what a stock ticker is now or a ticker tape? They used to have ticker tape parades. Yeah, yeah. Uh, well, I guess if you've been around the block for a while, you probably know what a stock ticker is. But yeah, now, well, you technically have electronic tickers. So if you go to the TSX, if you're on the outside the building, they have a scrolling ticker that comes along with all of the different, you know, the different stocks and ETFs and whether they're up or down. All right. Rory, HDIV versus HDIF, Candace. Which would you choose in a TFSA? Um, I like them both, but if I have to choose between the two, HDIV wins. Simple as that. HDIV is just, I don't know. HDIV is just probably one of the best covered call ETFs that is out there right now. So I like it quite a bit. Mr. Burns had a stock ticker, All Webs and Dust. Yes, that's what I meant. Planet of the Goats. Goat. Goat. I had, Scott. This might have been before you, but I used to have Beaver World as part of the channel. So when I used to do, back on this show on the weekends, I used to do 8 news stories each week. And they'd all be represented by pictures of beavers out of Beaver World. So it'd be a world that was, instead of humans, there's no humans in it. It's just all beavers. So yeah, there was Beaver World. Goat World. There we go. Maybe that's what we need. Planet of the Goats. That could be really interesting. Have a goat riding a horse with a spear. Sergey says, is it too late to get into MU and DRAM? What do you guys think? All right, so we're talking Micron, and we're also talking DRAM, which is the memory ETF. This is a great question, and it's great for a couple of reasons. I think a lot of the chip companies are undervalued. I really think there's room for them to grow. But here's the problem. The problem is, right now there seems to be a bit of a backlash against AI, and we need to get through that. But I think here's the thing, though. Even with the backlash of AI, whenever it gets bad, it tends to hit all of the big companies like Microsoft and NVIDIA, whereas Micron keeps on pumping along. Micron, AMD, the DRAM ETF as well. So I still think that there's room. I wouldn't bet the farm on it. I think opening a position, dollar cost averaging is probably not a bad thing. But of course, do your research as well. That's just kind of, you got to keep in mind, I'm very bullish on where AI is going and where chips are going. But that not everybody shares that bullishness that I have. So you want to keep that into consideration. And it never hurts. If I'm bullish on something, listen to somebody who's not. Because it never hurts to hear both sides of the opinion, for sure. Scott, damn you all to hell. You blew it up. You blew up MSTE. Yep. That's a great line out of Scott's version of Planet of the Apes. Rory says, insert giant cracked Bitcoin washed up on the beach. Yep, there we go. Scott, what's a good meme to create? Solvent green is Bitcoin. That's actually not bad. Rory, when you said Mr. Burns had one NGL, I thought you meant Carney. Oh, there we go. Rory, yeah, the Simpsons Burns. But both Carney and Burns have the same hump. Oh boy. Prairie says, I miss the Beavers. Well, did you notice, Prairie? Look, actually here, let me show this again. Look at the statue. Look at the statue. All right. It's a golden beaver. It's a golden beaver. I'm just saying. Rory says, excellent. Jerry Mathers. Yes. Well, I mean, I can bring, I mean, guys, if you want, we can, we can try to bring a few beavers in. I mean, if you really miss beavers, that's, well, like the monologue has a beaver on it. I did that for Jonathan, but, we could always, like right now we have one beaver picture, but I can come up with another. I'll come up with another one. I don't know if I have enough credits yet. Actually, here, let me take a look. Because you know what? I can do it right now. I can make one live if I have enough credits. I got to go over there to Pixverse. Let me see here. All right, Pixverse. And, all right, let's see here. I need, all right, I think I might have just enough. Okay, all right. So here we go. What do you want the beaver to be doing? What type? Give me a theme for the beaver. Scott says autocorrect changed soylent to solvent. I hate technology sometimes. Oh boy. If I had a channel like this, I'd use gophers. Well, that's a good way to do a deep dive. Scott says, still say it should be a monologue because of the beaver. Oh, right, because, yeah. Gopher like Fred Grandi. Let's see. All right. Okay. I'm thinking. Guys, just let me know. Come on, guys. Let me know what you want. Because then I will make it. Because otherwise, I'm going to just make something. I'll make something. Let me see. What would be funny? Let's see. Let's see. Saskatchewan has an army of them. What, of the gophers? I remember when I lived in Calgary, there were little groundhogs everywhere. Let's see. Candace Google stuff, but off screen. No, I'm not Googling anything. I'm just I'm putting in a prompt into the beavers. Let's see. Yeah, I caught the golden beaver. Also noticed that Indiana goat is now cut short. I got a kick out of the grin it would make at the end. It should still show the grin, I think. Did it not? All right. Well, I'll look at that here in a second. I want to get this beaver. Let's see. Okay. So I've got right now. Can you create a cute beaver dressed up as a? Oh, I know. All right, I got this. All right, maybe. Oh boy. I think I've only got one shot. So, okay, here's what I was thinking. What if we had a beaver wearing a Toronto Blue Jays uniform, striking out at bat? So anytime, we could use that anytime somebody, I don't know, misses at something. Anytime Gary Gill gets disappointed. This is a thought. Let me know. If you guys don't like it, we'll come up with another idea. Like Scott's saying a Mountie beaver. We could have a Mountie beaver. But what's the Mountie beaver? What's the Mountie beaver going to do? Well, the Mountie beaver could be handcuffing. No, that's getting a little bit too naughty. A Mountie beaver. Oh, I have an idea. All right, let's stick with the Mountie. We'll get rid of the Blue Jay idea. Uh, all right, I got this. I got this. There we go. All right. All right, one more thing. Oh, okay. I'm going to copy this. All right, I'm going to see. We'll see what we get. Okay, what happened? um, all right, I don't know. Oh boy, it said I had 60, and I think it took them away. I think it took them away, but it didn't give me my picture. Give me a second. I'm going to refresh this because the last time I did it, it did do it. Okay, it is doing it. It is doing it. It's making it. All right, guys. We're going to premiere a brand new beaver here in just a moment. Good or bad? I mean, it might be bad. Maybe we're only going to watch it once ever because it may not work. But it's 75% finished. All right. Once it's finished, I have to download it and upload it here, and then we're going to take a look. So while that's happening, Rory says no rats in Alberta, but lots of rabbits. Yeah, there's a lot of rabbits in Alberta. Like, and they're big ones, too. Mountie arresting Elon Musk. Okay, I didn't do the Elon Musk part. A red-green beaver with a roll of duct tape. Ooh, that's not a bad idea. It wasn't the one I went with, but I really want to see a goat or a beaver getting really mad or frustrated looking at a chart going down. Ooh, yeah, that would have been a good one. I didn't do that one. A Mountie beaver arresting Elon Musk. I did not do that one. All right, I'm going to take a look here. Okay. 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 I like it. All right, give me a second. I'm downloading it. Oh, this one's going to be a new classic. I can feel it. I can feel it already. Oh dear. All right, I got to go. I have got to upload this now. Whew. All right, it is coming. It is coming. Are you guys ready for this? All right, here it is. We just made this right now, this second. Here we go. Oh God, that's so good. Oh, 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 sometimes I enjoy myself too much. Sometimes I enjoy myself too much. All right, Rory says LOL. Totally awesome. Classic. That turned out better than I was expecting. That turned out better than I was expecting. So, whew, boy. Oh, gosh. Oh, let's get a couple of these little tears away. That was so funny. It brought me to tears. I enjoyed that one way too much. Holy cow. Oh, gosh. All right. There you go. See, normally, this is the type of thing we normally do on After Hours. So, oh, by the way, we do have After Hours Tuesday night this week, and it's open for everybody because this is the first of the month. So, that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh no. I just got to see it again out of the test box. So the test box, I think, is running a little bit behind where we're at. So it was just like, oh, there it is over there. All right. Don't laugh again. Don't laugh again. I'll laugh again the next time I see it. But there we go. You know what's really bad is I think Samantha wasn't here to see this one. So that'll be a surprise for her for tomorrow. Scott says, Moose and Beaver. Yes. Um, it kind of, if you think about Rocky and Bullwinkle, right? So it and you know what? Here's the funny thing is I didn't even make that connection. I didn't even make that connection. Oh, Samantha is here. I saw it. Okay, good. All right, that's awesome. Okay. I was like, gosh, Samantha would really like this one. Well, not as much as if it were all both black cats, but what can I say? Oh, that was awesome. All right. So there we go, guys. Now I am out of credits, so we have to wait till my credits I think every couple of days or so, maybe Tuesday night on After Hours. Maybe I'll have enough credits again that we can do another one. But what can I say? You know me too well. Scott says I did a Bullwinkle post in chat and YouTube deleted it. What? Really? YouTube, don't delete stuff, guys. Which AI are you using, Candace? It's called Pixverse.ai, and it gives you quite a few free ones. Like it gives me credits daily, and it's enough to make one of these every few days. So yeah, here let me give you the there we go. I'll copy this and I'll just drop it into chat here. So yeah, if you want to play around with it, there we go. Quick, Natasha, we get. So what was it? It was Boris and Natasha, right? Wait a minute, Scott, is this your? No, it showed this before. Like, look, right here, this one here is 3:52. Oh, it doesn't show. It shows me the time. It doesn't show you, but yeah, this one over here is 3:50. So yeah, those are two different posts. So I did see the first one. But nonetheless, pretty darn cool. We have 27 minutes till oil opens, guys. Holy cow. Oh boy. Oh, all right. I was gonna point out. We got a video coming out on Tuesday. Tuesday, by the way, it's going to be that bank video I've been talking about for a while. So we got the bank video coming out on Tuesday. Then we're going to visit on Friday. We're going to visit Canoe. It's been a while since we've been at Canoe. And then after that, the next following Tuesday, the video I scripted today, which is basically we're going back to, I want to look at, once again, I want to do just a 1 year review of the Daymax. I know we did Daymax, I think, back in March. We looked at them. We did like an 8-month kind of comparison. This is a little bit different. But they're hitting 1 year. Like they released in July of last year. So I want to do a 1 year review on them and sort of introduce BMAX in there as well. So that will be coming out, like I said, a week from Tuesday. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I have no idea what's coming after that, but I got a few ideas. I'm working on as well. Scott, I did that one as a one post and YouTube deleted it. Oh, well, weird stuff. I don't know what. Sometimes I can understand some things that YouTube deletes, but sometimes there's things I've looked like. Sometimes I'll look in my, I call it jail. So sometimes a comment that on a video gets thrown into YouTube jail. Sometimes YouTube just kills it right away, but sometimes it throws it in jail so I can take a look at it. And every so often there's things in there and I look at it, I'm like, what? Why is this here? There's nothing wrong. It's just perfectly fine. So if you're ever wondering why didn't Candace get to my comment? Well, one, it might have been deleted. Two, it could be in jail. I don't always go into jail as well because that's also where, quite literally, I go in there and it's usually a sea of spam and it's a cesspool of villainy. That's pretty much what it is. Speaking of a cesspool of villainy, oh boy, we have been getting a lot of scammers jumping in on the Discord lately. I think yesterday I went in there and I think I spent 15 minutes deleting, just deleting these posts. I was just like, oh my God, we're getting a lot. Um, and one of the weird things on Discord is normally, I don't know if I have any right now. If I have, let me show you. I'll try to show you. Oh, there's the Strait. The Strait of Hormuz is now in a restricted instead of closed. Okay, I like that. Let's head over here to Discord. We got to have at least one. I'm going to go to a nerdy salute. Nope, those are regular. Come on, can I please have one? Nope, just Paul. Just Paul. More than just Paul uses Discord, by the way. Pet Spot. Ooh, oh, it's Paul once again. But look at this. Oh, isn't that a cute little dog? Hi, doggy. There we go. I like it. All right. Okay, but yeah. Oh, I guess I don't have. Oh, could I at least have missed one? No, I was too thorough. Oh, well. New unreads. What's new unreads? Oh, random chat. Oh, there's more stuff down here. No, Paul. Let's see. Israel bombs Lebanon. Oh, that was a while back. That's Larry, by the way, guys. In case you were curious. Nope. I got none left. I was too thorough yesterday. But normally what happens here is, and I won't do it to you guys, but I'm just seeing if, all right, well, here, I'm just going to go way back here. We'll grab somebody who is not Paul. Seriously, come on. There's got to be somebody in here who isn't Paul. We'll do it on poor Sammer. I like Sammer. But normally when I do this, I can come down and you see the ban. I can usually click on ban. When I click on ban, it will ask me why. I'll usually say because it's a scam and delete everything they do in 7 days. And it should delete everything that was posted by Sammer. I'm not going to do it because I'm not deleting poor Sammer. But some of them it works and some of them it just doesn't work. I do it and it does nothing. I have to then manually delete every single one from every single thread. So I don't know why. I haven't figured that out yet, why it doesn't work on all of them. But sometimes I'm like, my band stick needs to be tougher. Maybe a tougher metal or something. But oh well. Rory, during the energy pullbacks, would you buy single oil gas stocks or go with a covered call like ENCL? I think it really depends though on what my goals are, right? So when I look like ENCL, so I have to look at the consideration here. So yes, I'm going to continue to receive income from it, and that's fantastic. So if I'm looking for income, that's probably a good choice. Another thing about ENCL is that their covered calls are not super aggressive. So I am going to get a little bit of room for growth in there, and the leverage will certainly help with that. So yeah, I think ENCL will do really, really well. However, with that being said, if I'm looking for total return and it's going to be, let's say it was a big, if we were looking at a really big growth spike in oil, then those single oil gas stocks, they might actually get me a little higher. But once again, we need it if it's not a strong, if let's just say oil slowly drifts back up to 80, ENCL you're probably going to make more. But if it's more of a, once everything settles and things just jump back to 80, then you're probably going to make more on the single oil stocks. Scott says I must end up in jail a lot. Maybe, I don't know. Well, keep in mind too, I am really behind in comments. Like I have been fighting to get caught up on the comments. I get a lot, and then I also have to. The funny thing is that I normally initially I'll go through and I'll try to look for the spam ones just to get rid of them because I don't want you guys being scammed by people. So what can I say? Oh, speaking of Larry, when China goes back to purchasing oil, I wonder what happens. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. I mean, I've mentioned as well, and it's not even just China. A lot of countries have emptied their reserves. So right now, there is an oil shortage out there. we're not feeling the pain. Like right now, the market's behaving like everything is back to normal, la-di-da-di-da, but it's not. And a lot of countries, especially right now, oil's nice and cheap. They're going to be very tempted to refill those reserves. You know, we got the U.S. Strategic Oil Reserve. That's going to be that we're going to need to refill that. And a lot of countries, you know, have strategic oil reserves, not just the U.S., China as well. And that will put a lot of pressure on. Like I think they've been sort of holding back on doing that right now, just because they're giving people a little bit of a relief. And you know, this is the thing. Maybe the U.S. and this is a maybe, because I don't understand Donald Trump. You know, well, at least what goes on in his head. They might look at the reserves and say, well, we do need to fill them, but maybe we'll hold off until after midterms. That might be an option. That might be something they're doing. Try to keep oil low so people are happy, so that they can maybe win some more red votes. That might be part of the play. That might be. But once again, that is speculation. I want to be clear. I don't have any insider information on that. Let's see. Scott says, I only joined Discord because of your channel. I was on Datcord. Oh boy. Dis or dat. I got it. You know, I almost laughed. You almost got me, Scott. So close to the laughing goat. So close. Rory, I use Blossom more now than Discord. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I like Blossom. Larry says, thinking things will be cheap for the month. USA has 94 million left of oil to drain out of that 170 million release, then the route. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not like I would call it emergency level low. So we'll have to sort of see. Obviously, if we get to a point where it's going to be completely out, they're going to have no choice. Scott says, I think I'd rather do single stock on miners rather than oil. Maybe LNG for a single stock if I could find a reasonably priced one. Okay, fair enough. Brian says, let's see, I use Yahoo Messenger. I've been waiting for a few years for replies. I should change. How many people are using Yahoo Messenger anymore? I mean, I used to use Yahoo, but I don't even think I have it loaded on my computer anymore. Pretty much the only ones I use pretty much is obviously, you know, if somebody messages me to my phone, I have that. And I think Facebook Messenger, because my mom uses that one. So that's about it. Larry says, it's like the metaverse during COVID. We were in the metaverse for 3 weeks. Then the Nambla Corna version happens, and it was back to the dominoes and Zoom. Yes. Scott says, I'm still on ICQ. They shut down ICQ, actually, Scott. So you're not going to get any messages on ICQ. But I loved ICQ back in the early days of the internet. And one of the things I loved is I got in really early. So you remember that big long number? Because you didn't get a username. You got this long string of numbers. Mine was like 1 digit shorter than everybody else's because I got in so early. And a lot of times I'd give them my ICQ number and they're like, oh, yeah, I think you're missing a digit. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Sarcasm Messenger is gone a long time ago. Hence waiting for the replies. Yeah. Well, there used to be AOL. Like they used to have it as well. Brian says, I remember ICQ. And there was also MSN Messenger, too. I mean, that was pretty big for a while. GeoCities will be back. There was also like, so you had GeoCities as your free sites. You also had Angel Fire. I don't know if you guys remember Angel Fire. ICQ. Notification. I remember that. That used to be so cool. I kind of wish somebody would have just, you know what? ICQ shouldn't have died. It shouldn't have died, but it did. It still shouldn't have. I liked ICQ quite a bit. Samantha says, oh, yes, I remember that. Yeah, good old ICQ. Oh, boy. Guys, we got 15 minutes till the oil starts flowing. Now, I'm thinking, what is the market going to do tomorrow? This is something I normally hit at least once on in the show. I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna say we're gonna have a calm day tomorrow. I think we could have some green, but there is some stuff coming up this week. We'll pull over here. We're gonna go and check a couple of things. First of all, let's go to the calendars. We'll start with Canada. We'll start with Canada first. So coming up this week here, obviously, there we go. So we do got pretty much one thing, one thing important in Canada. The big one, of course, is unemployment. So here's the interesting thing. So last month it was 6.6. Most people believe it's going to stick it. We're going to stick the 6.6. So we'll see if we can stay there. So there have been some who forecast 7, but the consensus is 6.6. So let's see if we can hold that. I would like, we weren't 6.6 was a nice surprise. Maybe we could get 6.5. That would be kind of nice, but it's hard to say. Right now they're forecasting 10,000 new jobs. So there we go, 10,000. It's mostly going to be part-time from the looks of it, and a loss in full-time. That's what's predicted. We'll, of course, see how things are going to look here on, but this is a big piece of data. So as you guys know, we do have coming up here in July as well, we do have our next rate decision. When is that? Let's see here. I don't think it's that. I didn't think it was that deep into the month. Yeah, here it is right here. On the 15th is the Bank of Canada rate decision. So this unemployment will be important for that. So that'll certainly be taken. I still think it's going to be a pause, guys. I still think it's going to be a pause. Now, if we look at the U.S., all right, let's head on over to the United States U.S. calendar. All right, pull it up. All right, so now I think it's going to be a very similar thing as well. So, oh, they don't have jobs this month. Okay, interesting. Yeah, the U.S. has a very light week. A very light week for sure. All right, let's see here. Yeah, and do I have anything beyond that? No, I don't. All right, interesting. Let me try. I'm going to go with this month. Let's just take a little bit deeper look and see. When do we get the job information coming out for the U.S.? PPI on the 15th. All right. Oh, and we got CPI coming out on the 14th. All right. And oh boy. Let me see here. I'm not seeing jobs anywhere. Unless I'm missing it somewhere, but all right. Anyway, yeah, so we got at least Canada's jobs reports coming out on Friday. So that's going to be good. So we got a light week. That could be good for the market. It could be. We just have to see what's going to happen. Scott says now we get WhatsApp. Oh boy. America Online on dial-up. Oh boy. AOL, Simpatico, Lyco Search, Dogpile, Ask Jeeves. Ask Jeeves finally retired. Yes. All right. And Larry's also thinking green, but I want to just increase my short position on 2X Bear Crew ETF. Bring it up to 50 to 60% of the account. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, because I think, oil could be in the red tomorrow. Like everything seems to be going okay, and we should be finally through all of that funeral stuff, so Iran can start talking again. Check out Avis Car when it went crazy. Any of us could have won by shorting it. Avis. Let's take a quick gander here. Okay. Well, there's Avid. Avis. All right. Avis budget. No, okay. Let's pull up. I'm going to pull up the 1 year on it. Take a look. Oh, look at this. Holy cow. It's like a skydiver's nightmare. Like, pff, oh. But yeah, that's quite the point. So yeah, imagine if you got, oh my God, imagine if you got in up here. Now this was Wall Street Bets. I think I remember hearing that Wall Street Bets was messing around with Avis. So I think that's what it is, Larry. Is Turo publicly traded? I do not know. I do not know. I'm going to leave Avis there for a second. I'll just duplicate the tab. Turo. I'm not seeing anything, but you know what? Let's just very quickly, because Turo could have a completely different ticker or something. I don't know. Let's go to Google. There we go. I'm asking Google your question, Scott, because no, it's not. Okay, so let's see. Still privately, although peer-to-peer car sharing platform filed initial paperwork to list on the New York Stock Exchange. The company officially withdrew. Okay, so apparently, no, God, this is coming from the Motley Fool. But oh well, yeah. Apparently not. Apparently they've withdrawn their application initially. So, but that's more than a year. That was what, February 2025. So yeah, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it at all. All right, guys, we got about 9 minutes until we can get a chance to see what's going on over here. Heading back over to Brent. We'll see. Last week was weird. I think it started moving like quite literally about a minute before, but maybe I'm wrong on that. So we'll see. We will see. You know what we didn't do? We didn't do the movie thing. I was like, let's make a list of movies that we like. We got one. So our list is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Oh, and Planet of the Apes. That's it. Scott, you might know something I don't know right now. WTF, WTI. What's going on with WTI, Scott? I'm not getting any data yet. So that's, yeah, I'm like, I don't know. Did it... Now, I'm thinking that if you're saying WTF, WTI, I'm thinking maybe it's gapping up. Is that what you're telling me, Scott? Is it gapping up? Because, you know... Larry says original or 2000s Planet of the Apes. I think they were talking original, Larry. Larry, what is your favorite movie? Like, let's find out right now. I think everybody wants to know. Larry's favorite movie. Let's find out. Maybe on the Discord we should just create a movie section. What's your favorite movies? It doesn't have to be a financial movie. I mean, obviously not. I'm just talking right across the board. So right now we got a couple. Scott says, no, I was messing around. Oh no. All right. Oh no. Yeah, exactly. Safety Not Guaranteed movie. Is that a movie? Scott, are you messing around again? I'm just, because I've never heard of that. I've never heard of Safety Not Guaranteed. I'll give you, I'm trying to think. I know there are movies out there that most people haven't seen that are actually really good. I'll give you guys one right now. Jacob's Ladder. So Jacob's Ladder is one of those movies, and I think it was from the 80s, I think, that I'm not going to spoil anything, but I will just say it's one of those, you know how a movie, you kind of get an idea where it's going. You kind of get an idea how it's going to end. But Jacob's Ladder legitimately ends up pulling the rug out from under you. If a movie can successfully pull the rug out from under my feet and I don't see it coming, I really enjoy that a lot. So Jacob's Ladder was a movie like that. Yeah, I think Tim Robbins was in it. I believe he was the lead in Jacob's Ladder. But anyway, guys, if you've not seen Jacob's Ladder, it's worth the watch. It is a little scary. It's, but the watch is worth it. The watch is worth it. So Safety Not Guaranteed is a movie. Okay. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. As a kid, that movie scared me. I will definitely say, as a kid, that movie scared me for sure. Scott says, great movie. Pan's Labyrinth or The Illusionist or Lord of the Rings. Yeah, Lord of the Rings is a classic for sure. And yeah, I mean, all three of those are good movies, Larry. So yeah, I'd say that's not a bad three. Carlito's Way is a pretty good movie. A mix between those. Prairie says, I primarily like sci-fi or crime dramas, but as a romantic at heart, all of my all-time favorite has always been Ghost. Oh, there we go. Patrick Dempsey, Demi Moore. Actually, my all-time favorite movie has Demi Moore in it as well. It was a movie called The Seventh Sign. I really liked it. I just liked it a lot. Like, I don't know if it is a huge thing. I don't know if it's a huge thing, but I just really liked it. Lord of the Rings is classic. Yeah, The Fifth Element. Oh, yeah, like there's that weird song from The Fifth Element too that sticks in my head a little bit. I think there was a Russian group that they actually successfully were able to sing it, and it was really cool. Bismarck, Huey Lewis did a song, Jacob's Ladder. Yeah. Now, I don't think that one was related to that movie, though, but I don't think. But, I think both were in the same time frame. All right, it's time to Google. All right. All right, Huey Lewis, Jacob's Ladder. Let's see, related to movie. I'll just put that there. We'll see. I don't think it was, though. I really don't. Yeah, not connected to the psychological film of the same name, psychological horror film. Like I said, it does have some scariness in it. All right, Scott says The Professional. Kill Bill 1 and 2 were interesting for sure. Oh, speaking of Huey Lewis. So, Ghostbusters, and many of you probably already know this story. Ghostbusters initially wanted the theme for Ghostbusters to be done by Huey Lewis. They wanted to use the new drug song. I got a new drug. They wanted to use that song, but he said, no, I don't want that in your movie. So he turned them down. So they hired Ray Parker Jr. and they basically handed him, I want a new drug from Huey Lewis, and they said, listen to this. We want a song like this, and that's where the Ghostbusters song is. So now, interesting enough, Huey Lewis actually sued Ray Parker Jr. because he kind of stole the sound. Like if you listen to I Want a New Drug and then listen to Ghostbusters, it's kind of the same. Not the words, but the music is almost the same. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he had to give Huey Lewis money because of it. But it was just an interesting thing. All right. Ian says Quicksand is a Mickey Rooney movie from way back in the day, worth seeing if you don't value your time. It's free on YouTube. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of really old movies that are absolutely free now on YouTube. So, it's not a bad thing to check out. Goodfellas, Siesta. Just finished binge watching the series Farscape. Oh, yeah, that was a good one. One of my favorite Nick Cage movies is Wild at Heart. Okay. And Rory says, I'm still getting caught up with Game of Thrones. Oh. Well, guys, we're now about a minute away. We're about a minute away from the market, from oil. I'm just going to head on over here. We'll see. Let's see what we get. These things should start moving pretty soon. I think we got about 40 seconds. Well, not anymore. Now it's like, 35 seconds, but we are getting there. Yeah, I'm trying to think as well. There's been another couple of movies that are really, really good. Frequency. I mentioned this one before. I really liked Frequency. It was Dennis Quaid, and I don't know I can't remember the name of the younger actor, but it was kind of a time travel type thing, but not really with time travel. It's more or less you have to watch it. It's actually really good though. It's pretty emotional. Let's see. Larry says Phone Booth. Ah, yes. Braveheart, Rob Roy. There we go. Um, yeah, I know that like I'm like saying I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I know there's a lot of really, really, really good movies that I'm forgetting. That I'm totally just they're just not coming to mind. But I know that there's a lot. There's a lot of I've watched a lot of movies. Sometimes it all blends together a bit, but I've certainly watched a lot. Um, I'm trying to think here. Yeah, yeah. There's one movie that I don't know what it is. There's actually a Quebec movie. There's a movie out of Quebec. It got dubbed into English. It's a Christmas movie, sorta. And I'll tell you, this movie used to scare the crap right out of me as a kid. It was called The Christmas Martian. And it was just a couple of kids in Quebec. They find a UFO, and there's this weird Martian guy in it, and there's strange scenes with Smarties and stuff. And I don't know what it is. It just scared me as a kid. It scared me. I was just like, I don't like this. I still watched it, but I didn't like it. Let's see. Scott says contact, although the CGI takes you a bit out. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Oil in the red. That's what we were thinking. That's what we were thinking. Yeah. Oh, look. Right here, Brent. Brent gapped down a tiny bit. I have to make this bigger for you to be able to see the gap. There we go. It's a little gap, a tiny gap here. Now on your phone, if you're on your phone, here I'll make it. I'll make it even bigger. There we go. You can sort of see the little gap here. So we did get that little gap, which that bodes well for my hypothesis that we're going to have a green day tomorrow. So I think we will see some green tomorrow. WTI, have we got anything yet? Yeah, WTI also gapped down as well. So both Brent and WTI. Larry says Western favorite Chateau's land. Godzilla. I love Godzilla. That's a badass monster. I'm just saying. The Guard with Brendan Gleeson. Glennery Glen Ross. Swimming with Sharks. Oh, Scott, of course. The Usual Suspects. Salt with Angelina Jolie. All right, all right. See, we should have been doing this at the beginning of the show. We could have made a list or something. Now we're like, you know, Ocean's 11. Okay, cool, cool. Um, Forrest Gump, It's a Wonderful Life. Back to the Future, The Shining, Full Metal Jacket. Okay. Yeah, Forrest Gump was a good movie for sure. Amazingly enough, It's a Wonderful Life. I finally got to see that movie, but I had made it through my entire childhood. I made it through my 20s and my 30s without ever seeing it. So it was kind of like, well, there's a game. I don't know if you guys play this game or have heard of this game. There's a game when the Christmas season begins. It's how far can you make it into the Christmas season without hearing Wham singing Next Christmas? And it's an easy game to get eliminated from, but that's the thing. I always, and for me, it's like if I hear it in the summer, that doesn't count. But I basically say as soon as Halloween is over, so November 1st, that's when the game begins. How far can I make it? Can I make it to December? I don't think I've ever made it to December, to be honest. I don't think I've ever made it to December. Rory says Casino, Sinatra or Clooney? Clooney, okay. Life is like a box of chocolates. And The Evil Dead. Yeah, Evil Dead was good. The Cabin. I actually, Joss Whedon made one called The Cabin in the Woods. I actually kind of liked it. But I think a lot of people didn't. There Will Be Blood, The Sixth Sense, Finding Nemo, Fargo, Harry Potter. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, The Sixth Sense, definitely a good one as well. Cabin in the Woods, Evil Dead 3, Army of Darkness. Yeah, yeah. Um, and of course, oh my God, Seven. Seven was good. Come on. Like, how many people saw the box scene coming in Seven? I did not. That caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it. It was like, I don't know what the heck's going on. But when we got to the box scene, it was like, uh-oh, wow. James Bond series, old and new. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Like, it's funny. Probably my most memorable James Bond was probably Roger Moore. And I don't. How many did he do? I don't think he did that many. Like maybe 2 or 3. I don't know. Um, yes, James Bond, Rocky, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Terminator, Platoon. I'll tell you, when I first saw The Terminator, I think I was too young. Um, it kind of bored me the first time I saw it, but I love it now. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is awesome. The Reverend Ramirez says I was actually scared leaving 7 in the theaters. Yeah, yeah, it was a very off. It was a very, I don't want to say off-putting. It was just a very sticks with you type movie. Let's see. I've been nodding off, so I'm not sure what type of movies we're naming. So I'll name a random movie. 7 pounds with Will Smith. Okay. Is it pounds or ounces? I'm trying. I know which one you're talking about. The one I thought it was. Was it pounds? All right, we gotta go to Google. All right, well, 7. No, it is 7 pounds. What the heck? I was thinking that it was less than 7 pounds. Okay, all right. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Lance. You're right. Anaconda enforces my fear of snakes. If you actually want to see one worse than Anaconda, there was one called Black Mamba, I think. Was that the name of the movie? Let's double check. Black Mamba movie, is that it? They actually have a 2016 one? 2018. But this was let's take a look here. I feel like this was not 2016. I thought it was, no. I thought there was like one way back. All right. Black Mamba movie. Let's put snake on a plane. I think it was on a plane. I think. No, I'm not thinking of snakes on a plane. I'm not thinking of that. Oh. Ooh, this might have been it here. Venom. All right, because it was a long time ago. So, all right, let me just take a look here. Venom. All right. Venom 1981 plot. There we go. Let's put it this way. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, the kid has a deadly pit snake that gets loose in the ventilation system. All right, it wasn't on a plane. It was in a house, but that was the one. Anyway, yes, Venom. What's in the box? Still traumatized. Dracula Dead and loving it. Good old Leslie Nielsen. That was a good movie. I like that. Some people didn't, but I did like it. Predator, Total Recall, Naked Gun. Yeah, Scott, did you ever watch the original series? The original series was really good. And then they basically took a lot of the jokes out of the original series and put it into the movies. But yeah, Love at First Bite. That was Jim Carrey, I think. Terminator 2 is really good. I've never seen Terminator 1. Oh, okay, fair enough. I think Terminator 2 was better than Terminator 1, kind of one of them rare ones. Yeah, pounds, you were right. The Lost Boys. Yeah, The Lost Boys is classic. Innocent Blood. Yeah, I remember that. Stand By Me. 6 pounds, 15 ounces. Yes, the Terminator series have all of them on DVD, Blu-ray, also all the Jurassic Parks. A True Romance. Everyone is in it. Okay, nice. 310 to Yuma, Pulp Fiction. A Black Mamba was in Kill Bill. Yeah, I think it was just the name of the name of the Viper was the Black Mamba. In the movie, because that's what sort of sticks out. I was pretty young. I was probably too young to be watching that movie. Train to Busan, I Second True Romance. There we go. Police Squad. Snowpiercer. All right. Talk to Busan was good. Have you seen the sequel, Larry? I haven't yet. Edge of Tomorrow. Nice. All right. Whew. Oh my gosh, guys. That's a lot of movies. I've seen most of them, but there's a handful there that I'm like, I probably need to check it out. Like, I don't think I've seen Snowpiercer, but I feel like it was, what's his face in it? Pierce Bronson. Sequel as in the cartoon. Police Academy. Yeah, those were fun. Those were a lot of fun. I do I like funny movies like that. Like, I'm a big fan of a lot of the Mel Brooks movies, like Top Secret, hilarious movie. Most people probably haven't seen it, but it had Val Kilmer in it. Uh, Snowpiercer has Captain America in it. Oh, does it? Why do I keep thinking? All right, maybe it's not what I was thinking. All right, yeah. Live, Die, Repeat is Edge of Tomorrow, as people remember it. Yeah, that was the Tom Cruise one, right, where he kept doing the same thing over and over again. He kept dying. Zombies with a Z. Okay, cool. It's kind of like, I'll tell you, I remember like the original zombie movies, like back with like George Romero and Night of the Living Dead, and those were like, they're so depressing. Nobody ever survived. It was pretty bad. Captain America, the actor, not the actual hero. Oh, okay. So Chris Evans. Chris Evans. Then I got it. I got it. I caught on. All right. Yes. Snowpiercer, debatable. My number one. But why do I feel like Pierce Bronson was in it? I mean, he probably was. I'm probably thinking of a completely different movie. You know what? Let me try something here. I mean, speaking of Pierce Bronson, I really enjoyed Dante's Creek. I actually thought that was pretty darn good. I want to see. Let's go to IBDM. Why am I thinking that he had? I thought, I don't know what it was. I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of something he did. Let me see here. Playing to Survive. No, no, no. Fast Charlie. Cinderella. I think it would have been a further back. All right, Misfits. The Foreigner. Christmas Star. No Escape. Survivor. What was I thinking of then? What was I thinking? I don't know what I was thinking of now. Die Another Day. No, no, no. Heritage Minutes. Oh, okay. Was he in the Heritage Minutes? Okay, interesting. I did not know he was in a Heritage Minute. That's kind of neat. Okay, Quest for Camelot. Tomorrow Never Dies. Tomorrow Never Dies. Dante's Peak. Omega. Golden Eye. I could have sworn there was something in here. Oh, was he in The Lawnmower Man? Boy. The Fourth Protocol, Remington Steele. I think I'm far enough back to say that I totally was wrong. Totally was wrong on him. Okay. TTT3 says I rarely watch movies. I watch a lot of documentaries. I love documentaries. Documentaries are awesome. What was the you like about Mel Brooks on Oddballs, no Spaceballs. I love Spaceballs. Actually, we got Spaceballs 2 coming out. I think it's going to be out 2027, but no, I just like, I don't know, it's just that weird humor. It's kind of goes back to, I used to watch Monty Python when I was a kid, and it sort of ties in together. I mean, initially I didn't discover it until somebody who was a big fan of Mel Brooks said, "Oh, you have to watch Mel Brooks here. Watch all of these." I was like, "Oh, okay." And maybe it's an acquired taste, but I really started to like it. Quick Change, Room 1408, Hannibal Lecter movies, Young Frankenstein, It movies. Yes. Pennywise. The Last Starfighter, Dante's Peak. Did I say Creek? I meant Peak. I meant Peak. Oh, gosh. Crawl, campy 80s adventure movies. Maybe I'm wrong, never seen the movie, but I think I've heard of it. Yeah. I just thought, I don't know what it was. I think I was thinking, you know what? Now I want to go to Snowpiercer. I want to go to Snowpiercer and just see. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, SNOW Snowpiercer. Here we are. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Chris Evans. This is absolutely not what I was picturing at all. So yeah, it's definitely has nothing to what. Yeah. All right. Because I honestly don't think I've ever seen this picture before. There we go. Fight your way to the front. Okay, yeah, no, all right. I definitely don't know anything about Snowpiercer. Metal Storm, The Destruction of Jared Sin, Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. Rory says Metal Storm, yep. Buckaroo Banzai. Ah, yes. The Black Hole. I actually liked The Black Hole. So basically, Disney came up with The Black Hole. They wanted something to compete with Star Wars. And, you had robots in it, and it got a little convoluted, but it was actually not that bad. I enjoyed it. At least as a kid, I enjoyed it. And I'm okay with it now. I mean, I look at it now and I'm like, okay, all right. I can sort of see where they ripped off Star Wars in a little bit, by putting the robots in there, more droid-like. But yeah, I was okay. Rory said no one mentioned Star Trek. Wow. I think the problem with Star Trek is that Star Trek tends to be hit and miss. It's like you have a bad one, a good one, a bad one, a good one, a bad one, a good one. But there are some good ones. I mean, The Wrath of Khan, probably the best Star Trek movie that's been out there. I also really liked. It's actually funny. I'm going to give you a. So when you go, Wrath of Khan, Search of Spock, Voyage Home. Everybody liked that one. I actually liked, so when they did the first Next Generation one, they did that Generations one that had Captain Kirk in it. I know it got a lot of grief. I didn't mind it. Like, I didn't think it was their best, but I was okay with it. Then the one after that, First Contact. I thought First Contact was awesome. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Now they're kind of lost a little bit. Although I will say I have been enjoying Strange New Worlds. I'm finding that quite enjoyable. Scott says pie. Lance, is that what we're naming? A movie series that has a good and bad movie? No, we were just talking movies, Lance. I don't know. Well, I guess because we started the show with movies, we're ending the show with movies. So yeah, throw your best at us, Lance, or throw your worst. Scott says, I was trying to not mention popular movies like Star Trek. I will mention Galaxy Quest. Yeah, Galaxy Quest was actually quite awesome. I liked it quite a bit. It was kind of designed to be a parody of Star Trek, but I think it became better than just a parody. I actually really enjoyed it. I wish they would have done a second one. Mars Attacks. Yes, seeing people's heads on dogs was an interesting experience for sure. Starship Troopers. There we go. Now the worst movie I ever saw. I'm gonna put this down. It was called Island. What was it? Isle of Dread. It was so bad. Or Club Dread. Club Dread. Yeah, Club Dread that's what it was called. But it took place on. It's the only movie that I've ever walked out of the theater. I've never done that on any other movie ever. But Club Dread, it was just so bad. I actually left in the middle of the movie. I just did not like it. I did not like it. Rory says War of the Worlds 2005 version. I think that was the Tom Cruise version. Would you like to learn more? We have a show tomorrow. We do, Lance. Yes. We picked up who Lance, I think, was it? I thought I always just assume it was Lance. I thought you did the four supers or the five supers on. I think it was you on Friday. So yeah, we do have a show tomorrow. Dot 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 dot. There we go. Independence Day. Yeah, Independence Day was a good movie. Club Dreadful. Oh, is that the full name? See, I don't even want to remember it. But yeah, it was just It wasn't a good movie. It really wasn't. Now, I mentioned it once to somebody who said, "Oh my God, that was a great movie. How did you not like it?" And that's the thing, it's all in the eye of the beholder. Like every movie I've just said is great here. Some of you are probably going to say, Candace, I like your finance ideas, but I don't like your choice of movies. And that's perfectly fine. Larry says, that dang movie starring the funny man. Anything with Jim Carrey. Yeah. I know it was your opinion. Okay. It was my opinion. Yeah, 100%. I didn't like it, but obviously there's probably people out there who bought it and have it sitting at home and maybe, well, I don't know if people still have DVDs at home, but yeah, it was just for me. It wasn't a movie I enjoyed at all. The Truman Show, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Ah, yes, the Cloverfield series. It was actually interesting. With 10 Cloverfield Lane, that was, I think, the one took place in the basement. And I think a lot of people didn't make the connection with Cloverfield in the title to realize that it was actually happening at the same time as the movie, the original monster movie Cloverfield. So I thought that was kind of fun. Liar, Liar, Cable Guy. Yeah, then there was, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't know what I would say is the best Jim Carrey. He actually made a really good Grinch. I'm going to say that. Lance says, I got the Friday show. I wasn't here on Friday to get the Monday show, so I wasn't sure. Also, the campaign with Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell. Yeah, somebody bought the show on Friday. I don't know who it was. It was somebody. Or was it? No, it might have been it might have been a whole bunch of it was a bunch of little ones, Lance. Because I'm thinking of Thursday. I think on Thursday, you had dropped the 5 supers that brought in the Friday show. No, Friday, there was a whole bunch of little ones in there. Yeah, they were all actually, I don't think there was any gifted subs. I think it was all super chats. All right, there we go. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, War Games. Yeah. I mean, War Games, actually an interesting story. Ronald Reagan got to get a pre-screening of War Games. Yeah, and that kind of scared him. I think he also was scared by the day after, and a lot of that stuff helped inspire him to really try to work with Gorbachev to try to get some, to try to sort of uncool the Cold War a little bit. Thermal Global Nuclear War, an anonymous benefactor, the WOPR, home of the WOPR. Funny, home of the Whopper. There's a game out there, guys. I think it's on Steam. It is a World War III simulator, and I tried it once, and it was downright depressing. It starts at DEFCON 1, and you have to sort of move your forces, and by the end, it always ends in nuclear war, and pretty much everyone dead. And I'm just like, what's the point of this? And what really sort of creeped me out about the game is just the soundtrack. Stuff in the background, you're hearing it, and it's just like, God, this is a game that I feel dirty just playing it afterwards. Not dirty in that way, but just as in, it just was like, because you hear people crying and stuff, and I'm like, no, I don't want to hear that. I played it once, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to play this again. So there we go. There's a game I don't like. Larry says, Hearts of Iron, The Patriot. No, Rory, no. Yeah, The Patriot was good. I'll tell you a good Harrison Ford movie that's kind of underrated. He was in one movie called Regarding Henry. That was actually a pretty good movie. So there's one. There's another one for you. Basically played a business guy who was kind of a bit of a prick, and then he lost his memory and he became a good person. Air Force One, nice. Yeah, get off my damn plane. I like that for sure. There's a lot of good movies out there. Now my next one, The Fugitive. Yeah, that was a good one as well. I did like that. And now I can think of a few movies that, let's see, Patriot Games, Ford, uh, Gibson, I Have No Life at All, Castaway. Yeah, now there's been a couple of horror movies though that actually did legitimately scare me a bit. I watched this one movie in the 80s. It was called The Prince of Darkness. And if you've watched this movie, you'll understand why it kind of made me a little bit uneasy around mirrors. Because there's something about a mirror in it. But yeah, there's just a lot of, actually, there was one action movie I saw. It was an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that was actually kind of good. It was, I think it what was it called? It wasn't called, was it called End of Days? It might have been called End of Days. But it was actually really good, and the plot actually kind of worked. And I was like, oh, this is interesting for an Arnold Schwarzenegger. A.R. Oops. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I shouldn't have to put too much in here. There we go. I feel like it was called End of Days, but I could be wrong. Let's find out. It was back in. Oops, we got to go further back. All right, let's take a look here. The Last Stand, Around the World. Okay, Collateral Damage. Eraser. We should be in the right area, somewhere in this vicinity. Let's see. Kindergarten, Total Return, Red Heat, Predator, Raw Deal, Commando, Terminator. No, it'd be after that. It'd be after that. Where am I looking? Where's this at? I mean, I could swear I was convinced it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I still think it is. Let's see. Battle Across, Eraser, Jingle All the Way. I'm probably just missing. Here it is. Yeah, End of Days, right here. It was 1999. Anyway, if you've seen it, you understand. It's actually pretty good. It actually has a plot that works, and it has the concept of it's really good. So End of Days, yeah. If you ever want to check out a Schwarzenegger movie that actually has a plot, a half decent plot, this is the one. End of Days. All right. Maze Runner. Actually, can I bring up the picture? Yeah, this is it right here. I mean, it's kind of like it's about the end of the world type thing, but it is actually pretty good. I liked it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Scott says The Prophecy. Pacific Heights was good. It was when Michael Keaton, known for a good guy, funny roles, played a bad guy. Midway. Lance says, I grew up in a haunted house. Most horror movies don't do it for me, but there are some documentaries and YouTube channels with real stories and events of paranormal activities. Don't watch Alone at Night. Fair enough. Michael Keaton, Duplicity or Night Shift. Flyboys, Battlefield Earth. There we go. Yeah, Battlefield Earth. That was John Travolta, I believe. 1917. Yeah. Boy, what was I going to say here? I had a thought here for a second. I had a thought. Oh, so yeah, I was actually really interesting. So Airplane, I watched this little thing on Airplane. So those of you who are familiar, Airplane, what they did with Airplane is, first of all, the writers, there was an older movie. They pretty much took the script from the older movie and they used it word for word, but they changed it up with humor. And when they were casting, they specifically said, we are not choosing anybody who can do comedy, because we want everybody in this movie to read everything completely straight. And we want them to take it seriously, and just keep on going. And that was Leslie Nielsen's first move into into that type of movie, which became a whole career for him. But yeah, all of them, they came in and they read everything straight. And I saw little snippets of this other movie, and some of the lines, I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly the same line, but they did it with humor. So it was actually it was kind of interesting. Anyway, is anyone writing these down, says Scott? Boy. Naha, Heathers, and Roadhouse. There we go. Yeah, somebody should be writing these down. But what can I say? Swayze or Gyllenhaal? It depends. It depends. Swayze, Fury with Brad Pitt. Oh my gosh. I don't think I've seen Fury. Of course, every time I hear Fury, I always keep thinking of Nick Fury, but I loved Heathers. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've seen Heathers. Like, there's probably a few of these that I'm like, I'm not 100% sure if I've seen it, but I probably have. Fury is good. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Holy cow. I want to keep talking about movies, but we have hit the end. We have hit the end. 2 hours, 30 minutes as normal. Oh, boy. Scott, Larry says, looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue. I know. That was a good movie. That was such a good movie. Pitt has made a few 7 days in Tibet. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, guys, I'm going to go big screen here. Whoa, that's really big screen. Oh, that's fine. We're going to be back here again tomorrow. We're going to do this all over again. Well, tomorrow we actually have the market close. I'm thinking we're going to have a green day. So we will see how that turns out. But until then, guys, I got a couple things I want to say before I go. I think you know what it is. It is. Bye-bye.